Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back here. And um, we are doing great. Talking about that, me and Paulina, we saw a very nice comment that comes in as something that has not been talked about within the twin flames. Why the twin flames have a different vibrations, different things. And I'm just gonna read to you exactly what the question is. If the twin flame have the same vibration, why do some experience so much chaos in the process towards union? Like being on a different vibrations or state of consciousness. So, talking about what this there, you're given the beginning of the ignitions in there. You're giving what uh, the things are, what the things they need to be for it. But when you begin to do your personal inner work, then that personal inner work creates a different vibrations. And this is one of the power within the journey itself. It's about to overcome the obstacles of the differences and to make them unified with them, to both overcome it, to both see what the difference triggers in there. Because you can have a differences in the cultures, you can have a differences in age, you can have a differences on so many level. That's mean that you are gonna be having a difference in vibrations in there. But in its own base, if you are working together within the union, if you're working with together to solve those differences and the one doesn't interfere in the other with the differences, then you're gonna find out that soon as one and the other begin to do their inner work, all that is in happiness is that the union begins more stronger, more solid, and more powerful there. Don't forget about it that the journey is about to overcoming those strengths, to overcome those differences in there, whatever that might be. So, without other ado, I'm giving the mic to Ina.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. We can already see a few people in the chat. Hi, Grande. Hi, Elizabeth. And hi, Piotr. I think it's going to be a topic because I am sensing the more realizations will be coming as we speak. But first, I wanted just to talk maybe about those, like the purpose of those matching vibrations in the first place. Like why do we feel that when we connected during ignition that we are exactly on the same page, exactly we are vibrating on the same level, and after that it feels to dissolve. And the question would be whether or not can you maintain a peaceful relationship even if your vibration will start to change, because I don't think we can expect our vibration to match 100% of the time. I think it's as you do some of the works, as you do your inner work, I think your vibration will be constantly changing. So it was even coming to me, um, maybe that's also the question for you to answer to yourself, like are you able to maintain the connection knowing that you won't always be at the same level, you're getting into the same vibrations just for the purpose of attracting each other. So that's the moment that you feel like, oh my god, we are on the same level. But then at some point, either you go through something within the connection and it gets you higher, while the other person just stuck in their own old ways, or maybe the opposite. But even if that kind of things happen, I think the changing of the vibrations, they are changing independently. It's of course like you can grow together, but there will be times that you will feel like, oh my god, I'm a little bit down. I feel like he or she did their work, even within the couple, within the relationship. But still, are you able still to continue the journey, whether or not you're a little bit down or a little bit more advanced? Because that's what happens. And I even recognize that in the connection with us. It's like I can clearly sense when we are not on the same level or not the same vibration, but it doesn't influence that much because those things will happen. And I think it's most often than not, people won't be able to maintain the same level of vibrations all the time. But hopefully, Dio will add something to it to clarify.
Oh, exactly. The way when you are talking about going up. If you remember, during the ignitions, when you go up there and you're getting it yourself up and up and up, inside of you begins to trigger things. And when you are, first of all, the inner self, the inner work within yourself that you do on your own, that you're going up in there, when you are with a person, that inner work is repeating itself for it. So even if you're by yourself, there you're gonna feel different vibrations for it. But knowing that this journey it's your own personally before you enter it there. But when you're with a person, you need to understand that the one person may have a certain fear of something, and the other person doesn't have that fear. Now, if you look at of this point of the vibrations, the one tapping into no fears of the other, while the other, it takes time and understand, okay, there is this fear up here that needs to be overcome. So you're in a different frequency because of the personality or from the energy or for the philosophy or of the culture or whatever, even if you call it the age gap or whatever your case might be in there. But the moment is about you to learn that that those different frequencies as normal to be a different. But when you look at it, the center, because if you look picture at the center is right here, where my face is, and the things are moving back and forth on a different frequency, that's the one person, that is you, and so on. You'll look at it that through that uh, personalities that are both valued for that union right here, you're gonna feel it that both comes in like coming in together. And this union right here, it begins to expand, it gets better. The support, the emotional, the spiritual, the psychological, whatever the support is between them, now it's working great for the both benefits in there. For if you, for example, if your partner triggers you somewhere, first of all, is looking inside of you, okay? Because you see it what there is. They point you out like, hey, this is what I see, but is that is the truth? And you're like, okay, let me look inside of me. Well, it is a truth, but that is something that I overcome before, but I never performed with partner. And this is why you're gonna find out that when you're doing your own journey, yeah, you overcome things, but you overcome it so you can practice it in the union. And now when you are with partner, those same triggers that comes in. And of course, there's gonna be some different frequencies. Okay. But when you look at it as you, as your connections during this process isn't there, the union is there. The energy is there, the love is there, the unifications is there. But just because you're working on two sides of the same issue, or both of you working on different issues, that doesn't mean that you're not available in there. And don't make confusions with this, because this is how the journey is tested. Okay, that's how the journey is tested, and those energies and those vibrations, when you solve the issues, they'll come together, and the connection is even getting beautiful, more greater, guys. Okay, incredibly greater. So back to you, darling, if you want to follow up with this there.
Yeah, I want to, because that's what people expect. That just shows what people have understandings about this journey and about the being in a relationship. with any soul connection, that it will be always peaceful, it will always be on the same state. But the way you were explaining it, the whole process, when if two people will be staying in the same level, even just for the sake to maintain the peace, so-called peace, there won't be growth. So the evolution will be pushing you, like with the way when you are saying and explaining, that was coming to me. The life will be pushing you to get to those uncomfortable changes, uncomfortable decisions, or those things that you haven't addressed, even for the sake of making you uncomfortable within the relationship, just to test you. How are you going to react? There is something that you still haven't addressed, or you had issues in the past. That's why the mismatch happens. It shows you by those seeing the differences, like you're on this a little bit different page than your partner. It doesn't mean that it's bad, that you just have to go each other way. It's more for this purpose of going through it together. And then, of course, like it's gonna be, the light will be shining on those uncomfortable places, on those darker places you have to address, because it, like, the lives wants you to progress further. So I think, if anything, like along the journey, you will realize that it's uncomfortable moments, they come for a reason. It's just staying in this peaceful state is easy, and it's very nice, but it doesn't lead to anything. And we had several moments that we sensed like it's getting a little bit boring. We are together, we are having our conversations, everything is smooth, but somehow, on a soul level, we had this feeling that something has to be steered. Something has to happen. It should not be as smooth all the way, unless you really want to be in one place. But if you really follow this evolution, you will realize that those will be difficult moments, and they are just for good, to make this connection stronger. And of course, sometimes with those very strong mismatches, like that can be also the sign for you, a little bit of a red light. Some of those connections, they are just going apart, and that's another lesson to be learned. Not to hang on to something that is clearly diverging into two different directions. I think we all know, if you focus on your emotions and the way you feel about the connection, you can recognize those two, fixable, and something that gets more solid, and something that is just going apart because one or two people are just not ready to grow together.
Exactly, as you were talking about this, but I want to say hi to a few people here. Hi, Piotr, thank you for coming in. Twin Flame Power. Lorianne, thank you for coming in. Love that Aqua Spirit red. I don't know how you made it on the chat, but oh, hi, Eva. Right on time for the recognitions for the peoples on the chat. And when you were talking, it came out this picture of um, they are both like self-sculpturing, and they chiseling themselves out. So the one chisels something else, and the other chiseling something else, and there is a lot of different things are falling off from there, from them, and all you see is their true self. There, it's right now. It's coming out of this um, stone for it, and this is why. They both know that what they're doing in there, what they're clearing, what they're working in there, is for their union, even to get even better, more crystallized, more proper, more truthful, more getting it the right way. You're gonna feel it. But following with this there, um, you know, learning that nothing grows in a comfort zone, and understand that the power behind all this journey, the power of this is the evolution. And the power of the evolution at some point is going to be steering the pot, because you're feeling like you're not evolving, you're not moving in there, you're not doing something else. To remind you that the journey started from the connections there, going all the way up high, and then that energy is going to be asking, now prove it. Do it in the material. You already when the reasons to learn everything here at the 5D. You learn what you have to. Now I want you to prove it. And this is why some of the people, it's like If you have this going up situations that you haven't fixed, and you get the downloads what you need to fix in there, now in a way back down, you have to perform it, this. And it's normal to have those different frequencies because you're going to be charged. You're going to be charged on your karmic relationships and your previous relationships. You're going to be comparing, like it or not, you're going to be comparing it, your previous relationships to right now. And the journey is going to be, I taught you how it's the proper energies. Are you acting in the same way like the previous relationship, or are you going to acting right now as what I gave you? That's what the universe is going to come in and right staring you in the dead bull's eye, and it's going to be like, what are you doing? This is different connections. It has nothing, but it will trigger your fears. It will trigger your insecurities. It will trigger all that. So you may have a different insecurities compared to your partner. I spoke to someone today, and they're like, Dio, can you help me out? What can I do? Because I have a fear of being loved. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love her. He told her, I love you unconditionally and so on, and I understand your fears. I'm here for you. Just work on yourself. But you see, those are two different frequency, but the union is there. The communications is there. And that's what a lot of the people continue misunderstanding this individual journey as a twin flame before you're moving ahead within the union. And it's normal. Don't freak out. Don't getting in there. The question is, you know why you're doing it, this there. So, darling, if you have anything to follow up with this.
Yeah, to add to this, you mentioned that it can happen that, we will be replaying the same fears that we have with the different relationships. N- That can happen, but also we have to remember that some people will be still on a journey, that they will have the same person coming back to them, but it's still valid. If you haven't passed the test with some person, but for whatever reason the life brings you back this person, whether twin flame or any soul connection, that happens also for a reason. So I think it's those things, those mismatches, I think it's never late to start fixing those problems if both people are ready, because it can happen that we were not ready 10 years after we are ready. So it's just, I want to clarify that, because I know it's sometimes it's still tricky to understand, how many of twin flames we can have. It's in general in soul connection, it's just whoever comes your way, whether it's old or totally new person, there's always, always ways to approach those things and fix those, but both people have to be ready, to recognize that. And just, and you cannot really evolve unless you are really paired up with someone who also wants to evolve, you know so it's, we all know how it works. But we had a good comment from twin flame power. She says, I notice as the divine opens up your path, everything happens fast and with ease. And one thing, I agree with that actually, but at the same time I notice how it's not necessarily when divine opens up your path, but it's the moment you open up for the divine, just to really work with those energies, because that's the most resistance. If you have fears, especially when we are talking about fears, that's the purpose of removing them. If you remove those fears, you're just, as you would be removing the resistance for the flow. So that's why it comes to you. That's why those discomforts come to you, to get rid of those fears, because that's how you're giving yourself this proper chance for the proper flow of the energy. So
Yeah, I want to add it to this because Twin Flame Power made another comment. True, I noticed the more I resisted the change, the worse it felt until I surrendered to the divine will. You gotta surrender to that evolution. The evolution, if you are running from the evolution that brings you a person, if you're the runner in this case, okay? I talked about in my channel a long time ago about it. The runner doesn't run from you. He's running from his own self, fears within his own self for it. because you triggers those fears within them, and they're running away from their fears to face them. Now they're running from you for it. And if you're resisting to change, this is a like a you blocking the flow of energy that it comes in and bubbles up, and the pain so much that you have to surrender. As I stated before, the three things of the evolutions are trust of that where it goes, surrender to what is happening, and let go of what's not working. Even that we talk about a little bit of side note up here for it. Uh, Even at the beginning of the journey, a lot of the coaches came out, and if the connection doesn't work, they don't want to be with you. It's not going to be with them there. You have to accept it. You have to move on. And, but the more of the energies comes in after that, it was like you got to be with this, with only one, and so on and so on. But we forgot to talk about this. Okay. So the different frequency and the different vibrations in there, it exists, and they have purpose. The only thing you need to recognize of these situations is when you have a different frequencies with the evolution. So for example, you're moving way up and the person doesn't evolve together with the evolution on the same level with you, then that is going to become a problem situations and there. But during the evolution, you need to understand that it's like this. The one pulls the other, hand by hand. They're walking together within this. They're both evolving together. Okay, that's how it goes. It's the same with the DNA. Okay, it's not much different. The laws are the way they are. But when you flowing with that power of the universe, which is the evolutions, that force, because the force is asking you to see the both two opposite forces, and then it's like, okay, I'm the force that when it's break down, I'm two opposite things. But when the two opposite things comes in, I'm the force, I'm the balance, I'm the love, I'm the creation. You're learning that and your journey is it when flying in there, but it is different when you practice it. And those are the moments that when you have to look those differences in there, not to be. It's like, okay, she works on her work, I'm working on mine. Okay, we're all together. There is no problems. Connection is good. Connection is great and solid. If you're in the right path within that, the evolutions as well, the evolution is going to tell you, you guys doing great. She works on hers, you work on yours, and that's kind of goes. Uh, Twin Flame Power, thank you both. It felt like, and the changes is what keep me stuck. The fear of the changes. You need to understand your fear of the evolution. If you go deeply within that fear, you find the fear of the evolutions. People are afraid to evolve. Question is why you're afraid to evolve. You find the reasons there. Now it's going to help you a lot in your journey, guys. So if you guys have so many questions, you can ask. So,
Yeah, I
darling,
want
do
to
you have
add
anything
something.
that? Yeah, go ahead.
I think I can speak to that because I remember my resistance. How I was really I wanted to I, like one part of me wanted to get out to the next stage, but one part of me was still in a fear. I was trying to locate like or define what is the fear, and just looking back, I can see how it was the fear of this emotional detachment, fear of pain, and fear of really letting go of the past. Because really, like, there's no way if you really decide that you want to step to the next phase, whether or not you will consider it stepping out of not the twin flame journey because you cannot step out of it, but really acknowledging that this connection won't work. I really have to look for myself. I have to see what else is out there. there were moments I felt like the moment I'm supposed to do that is like I'm leaving something behind, and it will be super painful, but it was my perspective shifted when I started seeing, okay, this is closing the door, but just, to open up the new doors that were waiting for me. And it was momentarily, I could sense this shift of perspective. I'm closing one door, but at the same time, I'm not reaching the end. Like, this is not the end. And then I realized, oh, this is just really like a new beginning. I can see now how I was keeping myself in this cage. It's like we all have those rebels, especially during those times, that will be pushing you to question all those things that people are sharing. And it's hard to define what is true or is not. Like, you will see what's true for you, but if something is keeping you in this or making those nudges to you, maybe there is some other perspective that you haven't considered. If something is telling you that there is lack of freedom in any sense because something is keeping you stuck, something is putting limitations on you, that's where you go and explore. That's where you say, okay, what would happen if I go against this? No matter how many teachers are telling you whatever. I really hope more and more people will be learning to teach themselves, and think for themselves. It's not, you don't have to discard anyone that you follow or you like to listen, but more just really question whatever comes to you, not to judge, but just to really see what resonates with you, because this is changing all the times. And that's really like following those hidden things that you don't understand. Something feels like it has another meaning, and there has to be other way, just to really explore those.
The evolution comes into you and it says, here, that is it, the path for you to go forward and evolve. But it's going to be require you to let go of the past. There's going to be a moment that you make a choice in there. And some other people cannot make the choice. Some of the people, they're going to be stuck into the past. And it's either you or your counterpart. If they choose to stay in the past, you need to understand that is their way, their path, their learning. You cannot just go out there and chasing them down and shove them informations about the twin flames and so on and so on, and have them learn in there. They need to learn. The universe has the right to tell it in there, but sharing it within this is when the same situations keeps coming with the one, two, three connections in there, and you're doing the same thing over and over, and then you're like, no, this time I'm not gonna do that. This time I'm gonna do something different, something opposite, and you find yourself how you grow. You grow within the connections because the connection can trigger the whole past. We had to face everything that we faced with the previous connections. Everything. I mean, that was like, geez, yeah. But come on. We died at some point. We were laughing at it, like, come on. Is the universe makes jokes about us? We have to go through the same things. Okay. So the universe knows what is the and there's like, let me see. Do you understand what happened in the past connection? Do you understand what happened there? Do you understand what was the wrong within that connection and what it was right in that connection? Do you understand how you can go ahead and behave and evolve within this? Because right now your spiritual behaviors leads into your philosophy, you telling yourself philosophy, and then that affects in your psychology. That from there you make up your mind, and then your mind leads to the actions. And I understanding the, oh my God, but when you getting within that positions for it, again, there could be a different frequencies. You may gonna feel like there is this separations that it's going on like before, and the universe says like, guys, it's not separation. It's only a separations within your mind because of the previous connections. Now look at it. What is it there? What was your fears? What was her fears? You look at it both, and you're like, oh, Now I catch it. And then you resolved it, what it was the conflict, but the same thing, that conflict is leading to the previous connections. You let it go, and then the whole connection moves up, and you're like, well, that was a good one, and you laugh on it, you're understanding the process, and then you will understand the twin flame journey becomes a more like a I don't want to say enjoyment, but you are starving to know what's next. Okay, so when you feel comfortable for a little bit after you've done your things, they give you a break, and then you're like, what's next? What's going on? What do we have to do? And then the universe set up what's the next one that you have to work on for it. So, Grande, as long as we do not live in our truth, divine sends us something that it's not pleasant. Exactly. If you're not in the truth, the universe knows the truth. He will test you. There was a what 2 days ago there that you sent me that video about the three tests in there. It's a great video actually. Posted on the Facebook for, but yeah, you're gonna be tested one way or another. You're gonna be tested with this. Hi VJ, glad to see you here. For it, Twin Flame Power, beautiful shared experience, Paulina, very helpful.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad it
And
resonated.
Vijay, I have never met my twin flame after I discovered last year. She was married. I have this fear of being judged by my twin flame for giving up on her. No, you don't have to have a fear of any judgments because somebody judge you, they're not evolved. There is a difference between the judgment and understanding by realizing what it is. Why did you give up on her? And so on. What happened with all the connections? What was this energies that create the separations and so on? Okay. With some of you, the separation is inevitable. With some of you, the connection is not going to give fruit. It's inevitable. It is not like you orchestrated something and so on. That force of evolution is going to be like, can't evolve with this dummy here because this dummy here doesn't want to look. I have to coach him probably this lifetime and the next lifetime and the next lifetime. But you are evolving here. I'm gonna do something else to you, and you're like, no, and I don't want to. And the the evolution says like, okay, you'll come back into the journey if you don't want to. You step out for a little bit, and the universe is just like it's calling you. That the energy of evolution is inside of you feels stuck. You like I need to do something else. I need to learn. There is something else within the journey. I, I can't. I gotta do something. You feel it that something from inside of you, which is the force, your your energy of evolutions within you, encoded within your DNA, is leading to that energy of the evolutions above. You reject the evolution, you're rejecting yourself. And now since you're rejecting yourself, now you go back out there. It's like, okay, evolution, what do you got for me? And this is why that for some of the people, uh, you're gonna end up where you need to end up. Then you gotta appreciate it because that force, they're the evolutionary force of the humanity. That's what this is. And we're gonna learn this because a long time ago we forgot to look at it to the evolutions. We thought that we are very smart, that we can develop what we want, and so on and so on and so on. A little bit of side notes, but yeah. Hi Lorna, thank you for being here.
I don't know. Good to see you. One other comment I wanted to add to this point is really, being afraid of judgment from others. It just tells me a little bit, why we are not valuing our judgments about ourselves. Normally I just learned, to judge my actions according to my morals or my standards. And for example, in this situation, for example, I would never go into any relationship or situationship, that is not clear that there is some other sides it's just against my morals. And if anything, I'm just kind of proving to myself that that's what I believe. Those are my, this is my system of how I live this life. And I don't think, if you have your own way you believe is right for you, it's just, be sure of it. Why you're afraid of judgments? If you believe what is right, it's like, I think this is something to look into, like why you're afraid so much about what other people will be saying, so much that you would go against your morals because you decided, not to contact someone. So I think it's, if anything, that's a good lesson also to, like, you always have to be at this first place and just act whatever feels right for you, because it's, especially in those connections.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes we are complicated even more the things by looking at more within the other person. I will give you a personal example here with us for it. So I wanted to do something, so on and so on. And for example, let's say we have a disagreement, different opinion, different point of view, and then, which you need to know, I respect her views. But the respect within the connections is very beautiful because she says like, I'm not gonna judge you. Baby. Uh, you you're gonna do what you're going to have to do, or and you can accept whatever you do. Doesn't matter what this is or is that, because I don't want you to go against yourself. Here, that is what the example of the twin flame power that comes in through it. It's the same way. I'm not forcing her to make changes. I'm not forcing her to do things. I let her understand. Respect. It doesn't matter what the situations are or the cases or whatever we are going through. But after that, we are both seeing the same picture because the evolution comes in, it gives us the same picture, and then we are going forward. Okay. It's not like, oh, I need to tell my twin flame. Oh, I see what he's posting on the Facebook. I believe that's what is only for me. And guess what? You find out that it's not for you, and then you're like, oh my God, what happened? Until you don't heal the codependency inside of yourself towards this, you have long time to go. But the personal journey is that when flame is going to learn you how to be respectful within a connection. And once you're in that connection, because it can't be practiced, you practice it, those things on your own, you learn it on your own. But after that, when you are ready, the universe sends you with someone because that's how you practice it for real with somebody in real connections, in real love, in real energy soul connections. That you are practicing everything. Now that's what makes you who you are. That reality. I'm gonna do this and this, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do this and this, and I'm gonna do what it is. And you're gonna find out sometimes the things that happens, they happen just like that. Why? Because you're in the flow. Your person is in the flow. You're in the flow within the evolutions, and that's it. That's what you're here for. You're gonna learn so much to learn, and it's truly beautiful. I cannot see it because the part is
Thank you.
on the way there.
Learn and grow from.
I'm going to learn, bro.
Mm.
Thank you, Lorna. You have something to add, darling.
Yeah, there was something. Oh, I realized like some people may be a little bit afraid of those. If I keep working on myself, there is a risk that the other part will not catch up on with his work or her work. And we're gonna go and there will be mismatch, and maybe at some point I will have to leave this person. Because I know, because I was doing these things in my head. How, if we are evolving all the time, oh my God, what would happen if one of us evolves faster? but then it's you always have this third part. You have this energies that are working with you and divine, and it's not up to you. You cannot see forward towards the future. All you have to do is trust, that you're next to each other as long as necessary, because otherwise you will try to write the whole scenarios, and even those kinds of weird unrealistic fears can also make it stop, because you will be thinking, oh my god, like what if I evolve too fast? So I think that's, if anything, like I'm trying to say, it's just that's always your choice, and I think that should be priority, just to choose this evolution and trust. If that's the proper match, that will continue, because it will be mutual benefit, for both individuals. And if the energies are seeing that people want to work with them and just allow the flow, I think this itself, it's kind of keeps the connection, because this energy is not wasted. The whatever bond is in between people, it just gets stronger. And that's how this third energy, it makes it even more strong, more solid, because as we were discussing, I think yesterday, I have a sense that through this third energy is people are getting more familiar to each other, more similar. And that's, you know in a sense, they develop this very characteristic, like, vibrational pattern. I don't even know how to explain it, but it looks to me that if people really decide to go this path, they create this bond that it will continue. They will, and always along this path that they take, there will be mismatches again, but then it becomes their very individual journey, like as a couple. But it's very, I don't know, I just, that's how I sense even this connection is evolving into, we are still doing our own work and our own paths in a way, but at the same time we're becoming more similar in a way, like in terms of core values, but everything, like I think all those DNA upgrades we were talking about, it's really, I have a sense that it's all leading to this. That's how you become twin flame, if anything. That's how it looks to me. You're becoming more similar.
Exactly. You practice it with another person, what you already learned as downloads as energies. You probably learn from coaches, you probably learn from spiritualists, and so on and so on. But the biggest learning there is the practicing. You in a practice life, you hear it from people who's been done it, and that's what these Aquarius energies are kicked in, because you become that personal experience for others. Okay, the other says, well, this has not been done, that has not been done, and here is, you got people who has been done there, and they explain it to you for it. The third energy, you know that third energy even from the beginning of the awakening. That energy said, I'm going to take you to the journey. You agree. You agree. Now it's you have to trust it. And when that energies of trust between you, your partner, and the evolution kicks in, you have a bond that it's pretty solid. And you're going to feel like the energies are happy with you too. And then continue and go on and on and on and on. And it gets more strong, it's more developed in there. And that the journey is getting even more peaceful, more beautiful. And the universe says, okay, you guys did your work. Here are the gifts for you. It comes in. Believe it or not, it is. And you will know it's a gift from the universe. You won't know what that looks on there. So it's going to manifest in the 3D. You'll worry about a lot about the 3D. Let me tell you, those energy, when the time comes in, they're going to manifest in the 3D. And they will. But you got to be ready for it. Got to be ready for it. All right, all that doubt and fear and anxiety creates energy blockages and diseases in the body. You need to understand that when you have doubts, the doubts are two opposite energies because you are doubting what it is. Fear, you're afraid of it is what it is. If you don't understand that it is what it is, I got a long way to go. Because you don't have to worry anymore. It was what it was, which is the past. Or you don't have to even worry about it's going to be what it's going to be, which is in the future. All you do is, it is what it is, in the now. And then all this anxiety, because the anxiety is like coming from the past to repeat itself, or an anxiety is about you put too much energies into the future that you are afraid that it might not gonna happen. In both cases, the past and the future, then are irrelevant to the present. And guess what? That energy is gonna be telling you, I'm blocking these energies and I'm gonna give you these diseases and so on and so on. So you stop doing this. When are you gonna live within the now? And granted, that is a you will understand the powerful healing of living in the power of the now. So, darling, if you have anything to chat.
No, actually, I have something like, in a sense, like a question. It
Well,
just came to me, um, when we are talking about the vibration, like matches. If we have exactly the same match, you have this law of attraction that it's working. But then you have also those, somehow it feels that we also get this attraction towards each other, towards other people, if something is missing, if someone has something and we don't have it, or the opposite way. So I'm like, I try to kind of understand it. Like, do you think it's, why does it happen? Like, if we're on the same vibrations, we are getting attracted to each other, but at the same time, if we are so different, also we have this pull, there is this magnetic force. And do you have answer for that? I'm just curious, like, why is it, like, is it, do they have to be the same, or do they have to be different, or it's.
no, actually, that is a part of the journey, and that is a, for example, whatever you are missing within the connection. That's mean that something is missing. First of all, within you, what you're seeking in there, what it's missing in there, whatever that might be for it. In the same way, that is going to be like and the other side, maybe they're missing something for it that it's missing within them for. So if you are missing, for example, uh, certain emotions, or you are missing certain understanding, or something for the life itself, 3D or work related or whatever that might be for it, that is a the evolution is telling you that to develop in there. You need to understand we're still underdeveloped, and when you are seeking something that is outside of that, that's mean you're looking for something that is has to be developed in there to bring it into the connection. You might feel some of the people coming into me is like I feel like I'm not worth it for the connection. I feel like I'm not ready for this connection. Like today I had that call, it's like I feel like I'm worthy of not being able to love. Guess what, you know, talking about kids, talking about childhood, mother, father, they were so abusive within, and she didn't learn what the proper way of love is. She was afraid of love. She was afraid to be in a relationship because the relationship can end up to be like her mother and father, so on and so on. And that. But guess what? The connection is going to be asking you to develop them.
Hmm.
Okay? To develop that within yourself so you can bring it within the connections. So there could be are things that could be possibly of that mismatch within the energies and the vibrations, but uh, that can comes in. For example, if the people, what they had to evolve together, they already reached their maximum, and now they're looking at this like, what else I haven't developed, and now they're looking at the other things that needs to be developed. Okay, so evolution is very interesting. He's gonna point out what it needs to be. The question is what you're looking at from outside in there, and why you're looking at from the outside. Are you looking at from outside source to fulfill some kind of like a need that you have, or are you looking for an outside source of learning what you need to bring in the connection? And that is one of the things I also encounter with people, because they still seeking an outside source of validations, or they seek outside source of like something's missing there. Every time when you feel like something is missing, look within you first why it's missing, because you're looking at it. What's missing in you, you look at it from someplace else to get it, while you evolution is asking you to develop. But that is a little, you know, thanks to the
Mm-hmm.
evolutions in that place.
Yeah, but
So
I think I realized that, those two cases, the
mhm,
first one is basically if we are on the same vibration
mhm.
with other person, we are attracting. And this is like clearly like the attraction works. But the opposite situation, that we are kind of super attracted to someone because someone has something that we don't have, this is nothing else than chasing, so I was okay, you can attract if you really, you just take care of your own good and you're just doing everything for yourself, then it's getting attracted to you because it's brought to you because you need it, but really like your soul needs it, but not in a way that you don't have it, so instead of developing on your own, you will take it from someone else. But if in those cases that we have this super magnetic pull because we are attracted to someone, this is chasing. That's really tells us, okay, I need it, but instead of giving it to myself, I'll better take it from someone because we are matching so well.
Because
So
it's
yeah,
more
that's
easy. A lot of the people done like very good points. I love our talks like this, and especially that we hear live on that for it. Remember back in the days when we were talking about this for it, that first of all, uh, the attractions of the energy of the evolution that put us together. That's what I want to mention, because we are both complete our personal journeys. Then we need to be a journey with within a connection. But um, I'm talking about these people that uh, they want to escape this inner work, and they just looking for the outside source, their person, their connections, to give them that to fulfill it. But without the understanding that they need to develop in order to attract it, because most of the people, they don't attract, they're seekers. The difference between the seeker and the attractor, in that case, the attractor is built from within, and he doesn't look. He's like, what is belong to me is gonna become to me, because I am, and I'll attract what I am. I don't have to go out there and look. While the seeker is like, oh, I need this, I need that, I have this, I have this requirements, and so on. The old programming kicks in, what the man or the woman have to have a specifics and so on, and they start looking for it. And then, oh yeah, here, I'm missing this within me, and now I see my twin flame, and he's got that. Have you developed that? And that's what is one of the reasons why a lot of the twin flames, they're not together for real. It is because the one person is not developing. They're demanding from the other person just to receive without giving anything. And there is no equality within the give and take. I mean, even the society still have no learning this energies exchanges properly. But to go back in there, it's yeah, those are the two ways. uh, for it. Because once you develop within you, guess what? You can practice it because you have it within you. You don't have to demand it from your partner. Your partner is giving it to you anyway because they know how to feel. They're giving it to you. It's the same
Mm.
way you're giving to your partner because that's how you feel. Instead of you demanding the time, attention, and so on for it. Yeah. So, BJ, childhood abandonment won't lead people to pleasing behavior. I still feel responsible for my parents' failed relationship to I am in a peace with keeping sabotaging my own need. VJ, I spoke to quite a few people that have that. It's called the grown up wounded child. Okay. In there, this is a that right now because your parents they were immature within the relationships, even though they're mature in a physical age, that doesn't mean mature for it. But now you trying to teach them how to become a better parents, and the reason you're trying to do it is because you're still seeking the love and attentions and the proper relationship that they were supposed to teach you. They can't. And this is why you're sabotaging yourself because you're giving a time, effort, and energy towards their relationship. That's not your business. That is the business between them two. What you need to do is understand your parents, forgive your parents in there, and work on yourself. Otherwise, you're trying to do everything to satisfy your parents. And guess what? Doesn't matter how much you get it in there. If they haven't been satisfied with your success and their own, you trying to get that in there, only think the result is going to be a one time sabotaging your life. And this is a what happened is even that encounter at the I believe like in the last 2 years, I did a lot of the generational karma, looking at even through the astrology for it that kids, parents, and grandparents. And what happens is immature grandparents has the kids, and those kids have the kids. Can't have a kids teaching the parents. It is the parents teaching the kids. The parents becomes the example. Okay. So my suggestion to you is work on yourself to become a better parent. Within yourself as an energy is understanding. That way you breaking that generational karma in there and you moved out of it with this for it. Because here I still feel responsible. Why you feel responsible for their relationship? Should not be responsible. That's mean you are acting on the base of a wounded healer, which is like I'll take their pains over my shoulders. You should not. If there were irresponsible parents, say this abandonment, so on and so on, for you, for that's mean that they have to work on their own abandonments themselves. And Vijay, I love the things that you're putting in there for it, but my personal suggestion is let it go of trying to fix your parents' relationships. Let them deal with that things. You work on yourself because otherwise you're abandoning yourself in that case. And I've seen it. People are asking me about it, why I'm abandoning myself for it, and that is the one thing. That, yeah.
Mm.
Dalek, if you have anything to add,
Yeah, to this one, yeah, because sometimes we try to fix people instead of, and it's somehow we just keep them stuck, even because of that, because it has to be released. Like we have to release so that people can start working on their things, and I've seen that in my very close environment. The moment I really released, magic started to happen, and they really started working on themselves. But we have to let go and say, okay, it's not my job. I've had enough. But Lorna had a comment for our previous discussion. In my experience, there's something being learned either way. So it's like it's really that true. That was when we were talking about those like attracting some people who are different. And I can agree because I had several situations that, you know, the attraction was there, but the moment I realized that there was something unhealthy I planned to replay again, or there was some very unhealthy trait that was attractive to me, or really someone had something that I was missing in myself. The moments I started noticing those things and working on them, this attraction seemed to dissolve. And that's why I was wondering, like, perhaps if you do this mental exercise and think about if you've developed all those things that you admire about your twin flame, for example, when you met, if you start imagining that you've developed on yourself, at the same time seeing how much toxic it was from time to time, you'll see like probably you wouldn't be attracted to this person as you like in this healthy state. Like you wouldn't wish that to yourself because you know you've developed everything that that person had. At the same time, you see that they were also wounded. Like you were just creating this unhealthy dynamic. So you know it really helps to put those things into perspective, just to see, you know, how much we are blinded in those ignition states and how much it's a very perfect mirror for us, you know, what we can do with ourselves, like how we can improve. There is no better way for our life to show us, you know, how we can make our life better. Whatever the outcome is after that is you don't even worry about it, because the moment you don't need anything from anyone, like why you would desire to have someone like this desire, this need, it dissolves. So just a comment.
Exactly this desire, and it dissolves because right now you have it within you. You have it within you. That mean that like uh and your partner has it within them. So you give it to each other. And guess what? You don't have to demand your partner to act in a certain way. If you're demanding something towards your partner, you still doesn't understand what partnership is. You can discuss, you can have a discussions, you can have a talk, you can have a different opinions, different things. But let me tell you, when you have these great discussions, to that different discussions is emerging the greatest way. You find the new ways to do the things, and that's what the evolutionists want you. You to develop it because you are the new way. And when you understand that you're the new way and you're bringing the new, and you're like, okay, let's do it. You're gonna start having even fun with that. Okay, but when you do it, and also have to understand there is a responsibilities attached to this. So yeah. So yeah. Grande, lots of love sent your way. Thank you, Grande. Appreciate it. The intentions behind the decisive of the outcome. Yeah. People want to have that outcome, right? Without doing the work. Society these days is more than just lazy. They are, everything has to be given, not made. Everything has to be given. Okay. And that's we're talking about immature kids getting married and having kids that don't even know how to watch kids. And the kids is like, come on, you guys are parents. You should teach me on this and this. Where did that came from? Right? Until you realize you've never been taught. BJ, private disrespect, public disrespect, the vibes in our home. It ripples out in the workplace and environment. The relationship we have is with our bar is the first relationship. Um, if you look at it on a personal level, yes. On a physical level, yes. But if you go dive deeply within that, VJ, and if you need some personal sessions because there's a lot of personal information in here, I'm so proud of you that you're sharing it here. But the first relationship is within your own soul, not parents, not cousins, not mom, not dad, not grandparents. It's you in there. And if you look at the private and this public disrespect in there, that's mean that a lot of immaturity is involved. And personal suggestion is if you're in that environment, those vibrations will affect you so much. You basically may feel like you're in a cage, you're suffocated. And what are you learning from that? So if you get a chance to be on your own, you to do your own things, you to evolve within yourself, developing yourself in that position, study. If you have to be study psychology, study philosophy, change your thought patterns in there, process culture improvements and so on. And then after that, you're gonna be happy with yourself because you're not gonna need someone to complete you. You complete yourself. That is the key. And after that, you complete that to yourself, then guess what? The universe says, like, oh, you're a completed person. I'm going to put you with another person. And it's going to happen on its own. You don't even got to look for the person. But those energies of family, I know, but personally, that's how it goes. And there are some people, it's like, well, Dio, you should act, you should this, and so on. I mean, it's like a little bit like a gaslighting towards the family situations and so on. Like, you can gaslight me, you can do what you want, you can get it as much as you want. That doesn't bother me because I went through this. The people have a mature, wherever they are, parents, kids, or wherever it is, they have their own relationship with the universe and the evolution. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good lesson, to learn that
Yeah.
with the bloodline is like you cannot be friends with everyone, and it includes people in the family. The fact that you were born in some family doesn't mean that you have to be forever and ever. Of course, like there will be people who will be joining you on this, like you will start changing, and they will still be respecting those changes how happen. But it's a lesson the same way as with any connections you have, right? Like sometimes we just outgrow people and we see, okay, this is bad for me, I don't need this. And it's like, again, like you have respect, let them be themselves, but you cannot fix everyone.
Yes, because when you pay that energy, times, and effort trying to fix them, where is the energy, time, and respect to fix you? Most of the people don't look that way at all. And that triggers the self-abandonment in these positions for it. And let me tell you that self-abandonment is crucial in there because you stop loving yourself. And if you stop loving yourself, how would you love somebody else or be in a connection with somebody else when you don't love yourself?
That's why we have the last comment. That's perfect. Thanks, Grande. I'm seeing a lot of sevens recently, like 4 sevens. I'm happy to see
I
lots of good
saw three
sevens.
sevens before we started the video and four twos. And that post that we talk about today with you about the key of David and the ankh, it comes out right there on the front of me, just like, okay, 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 we know where we're going. Trust it. So yeah. All right. Well, I think for today I got we got to say what we got. I mean, at least on my side. If you baby wanna say something for it,
Yeah, like
what?
one last comment from
Sure.
Lorna. I come from family of 8 and my soul choose me, choose you. And that's true. Just I had to learn this. That was quite recent lesson for me to really let those people go. And instead of really diverging, I could see, okay, they are evolving, they are still next to me. I thought they won't be joining me on the journey that I outgrow my family, but it doesn't happen honestly. Like those things are full of surprises, and you may be surprised. Like sometimes, just if you let go of people, you can see how they can grow on their own. I mean it when I say that if you keep hanging into trying to fix someone or help them, you're really blocking their evolution. So the same way, like this is very important, just to release it, just to give them chance you know
Thank you for taking my words out of my mouth, baby. I was about to say like follow that comment in there. Take a look at it yourself that because a lot of the people or the cultures they have this mother father. It's like when I get old, you should taking care of me. You should do this for me. I'm your parent. I'm doing all this for you, and so on and so on. And there, and when you pull that off, it's like I'm not worried about you. So it's like, what do you mean? It's like, no, look at yourself. You give them the chance and opportunity that they look within themselves. What did they create? What did they did? What is their life? It's like I don't want to communicate. I don't want to have it. I don't want to. They're like, but why? Oh, go look within yourself. Why? I can tell you my why, but I've been telling you my why, but you don't get in it. You can't have sometimes that you can't even put relatives when we're talking about this positions. If you haven't had a really connection for like, let's say, 6, 7 years, the beginning of the first 7 years, that is astrology is from the Aries into Libra, those first 7 years, and there, the rest of it, it doesn't matter what's going on. That you're missing the points of all this in there. So the cruciality in there is this that you to realize that you harming them, but you're trying to help them. You basically make them handicapped. You create a comfort zone. They don't grow. But when you pull out of self in there, sooner or later they learn to do other things. So yeah, it is what it is. Yes, it is what it is. All right, guys. Thank you for the love and the light in there. I appreciate you on this.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna give you from me the love and the lights from us, guys.
Exactly.
And
It's one
um,
last question, one last comment.
mhm,
It seems like a loss, but you're really letting them go for you. And you're making a space. That's also what happens. Everything that it's, if you create space in your field or heart, that's new things will come to you. So
mhm,
that's something better because you have to let go of those lower things. Like if they are too low, like it's okay to acknowledge this. It's just, again, it's not it's not bad. Like it's, you're not doing anything wrong if you choose you, honestly. It's just that the right people are always staying, and it's just your responsibility to see, whether something is healthy for you because you value yourself so much, or just you have to detach from some time.
exactly.
Mm.
Trying to get the right emojis, but it doesn't work very well with me. But I'm doing it the
Well,
best as I can. There we go. All right, guys. And that comment, yes, it may seem like a loss, but you need to understand that the moment you disconnect, you're gonna receive the freedom within you, and you're gonna have more energy, time, and effort to focus within you for other things to do with you that you never had it before. You also have a chance to escape the cage, escape that suffocating, and so on and so on. And a lot of people have. I know it's hard, but you need to understand it's the right thing because the right thing and the hard thing most of the time is the same thing for
but you
everyone.
see, the lesson is the same. If you learn to do that on a family setting, you will have a not a perfect connection that doesn't work, and you see it's suffocating for you. It doesn't make you feel right. You feel like chasing, you feel like being in very unclear situations. You will see, okay, this is too low. As much as it was emotionally, it's beautiful because it gives me, and it's not even beautiful in a quote because it gives you this um, uncertainty, this attraction what people need. But if you can detach from it because you see, I choose peace, I choose me, then like that's hard lesson, especially on this journey, you know. But if you're able to choose you, no matter the whether or not it's like your twin flame or catalyst or this strong soul connection, but if it's not healthy for you, it there is no balance, you're able more likely to just choose the um right way, you know.
Exactly. All right, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for watching. If you guys have any idea for a topic, any questions, anything you want me to help you out here within the video, please comment on all this, and we're gonna be gladly to do a video for you. The VJ, yes, individual journey to ascension. Exactly. I'm so happy that some of the people getting it to that. For choosing yourself over the toxic family is a self-act of care. Exactly. Twin flame. And guys, we appreciate you. Be love, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Take care, guys.